Everyone, and welcome to another live watch along on Football Tour podcast. My name is Ozzie, and I'm your host for today. The game is set to be underway. The players are currently shaking hands with the Guard of Honors, I guess. I can see Clinton Morrison, former Palace striker, and Ian Rush. So, as they do their formalities, what we'll do, we'll go through the lineups and see who is starting to. So, for Crystal Palace, you've got Henderson in goal, and then Crystal Palace are playing a 3-4-2-1 formation. So you've got Mark Gahey, of course, being linked with a move to Liverpool, starts on the left-hand side of a back three. Then you've got Lacroix and Chris Richards on the right-hand side. And then your midfield four, you've got Tyron Mitchell on the left, Menuz on the right, and you've got Adam Wharton and Kamada in your double pivot. And then you've got Eze in your as your advanced left-sided attacker. Ismail Assar on the right, and you've got Mateta leading the line. So in terms of the lineup, I pretty much expected this team to be fair. I don't think there's any name. Maybe I think Kamada I didn't think would start. Maybe I thought it would have been Lerma, but I think Kamada has shown, his technical ability playing in a bit more of a deeper role. He's generally a more of a attack-minded player. Predominantly has played number 10 in his career. But of course, the legs may have caught up with him, and he's playing in a more of a deeper role. But he still has that playmaking ability that will definitely help Palace going forward. And the rest of the lineup, pretty much as expected. Now, in terms of the Liverpool lineup, we've got a return of Allison. So I didn't think Allison would start in this game just because he's been away from the squad due to personal reasons. But he's returned from Brazil. He has trained for the last few days, so maybe I sort of thought he's in the right state of mind and he's more than ready to start in this game. So good to see Allison back in the lineup. And in terms of your defense, you've got Kirkes on the left, Frimpong on the right, Van Dijk and Konate to complete the back line. Bradley, I don't think is available for this fixture. So that's why he's not in the lineup. And then your double pivot, you've got Szoboszlai alongside Curtis Jones. Gravenberch unable to start today. I believe his partner's giving birth, so that's why he's been omitted from the squad. And then your advanced midfield roles, you've got Gakpo on the left, Mohamed Salah on the right, Florian Wirtz starting as a number 10, of course wearing the number 7 shirt. And leading the line is Hugo Ekitike. So very strong lineup from Liverpool's point of view, pretty much what I expected in terms of the team and the shape. So yeah, good to see Armstrong presenting a strong team. And it looks like both managers really want to win today. It's not just a glorified preseason game. It's pretty much the the starter pack for the Premier League. This is the game that puts you in the right mood and in the right position for that opening game next week. So for me, both teams have gone all out, which is good for us because from a spectacle point of view, we should be encountering a very exciting match today, I hope. And in terms of the bench, for Palace, you've got Lerma, Klein, Hughes, Esse, Eduard, Sosa, Benitez, Devaney, and Cardins. They've also got a Rio on their team in terms of Rio Cardins. And for Liverpool, we've got Wataru Endo, who will pretty much be covering centre back and defensive midfield positions today. You've got McAllister, Chiesa, Harvey Elliott, Mamadashvili, Robertson, Trey Neone, Ben Dog, and our star boy, Rio Ngamoa. So good options from the bench, solid options as well. I do expect to see the likes of Endo, McAllister, maybe Chiesa. I think if Chiesa and Elliott don't come on, it might be an indication that their places might not be solidified going forward. They might be on the verge of moving to different clubs. That's actually why Simicast is not in the team, because there's strong rumors circulating that Nottingham Forest want to sign the Greek defender. So that's why he's not being selected today. So hopefully, we get a good team today, a good match. And right now, I can see that the players are around the circle, and we'll be doing a moment of silence for Diego Jota and Andre Silva. So we'll do the same as well. We'll keep silent for a minute, and then once the game begins, we will go through the comments and speak about the game in more detail. So let's do our minute of silence as well. There we go. Nice touch there from the Palace fans. for the moment of silence there. I see a lot of Palace fans, showing huge respect. I saw one guy that actually printed something on the back of their shirt in tribute to Dio Jota, which is a lovely touch from that fan there. Um, okay, so what we'll do, we'll go through some of the comments before the game begins. The players are in a hurdle right now, just having a few words. Ozan Kabak says, big up the man. Ozzy, big up yourself, Ozzy. Come back. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for tuning as always. Ozzy, come back saying congrats to Grab for his first one. Yes, congrats indeed. Yeah, big moment in his life right now. So yeah, good that the club have allowed him to share that special moment with his partner. And yeah, hopefully everything goes well in terms of the birth and that the baby is safe and sound. Ozzy Kabak says they're saying we're in a 5-4-1 formation. Nah, I think they need to reevaluate the tactics there. That is definitely not the formation we're playing. Even if we're playing against Real Madrid or Barcelona, we're not going to play five at the back. So yeah, that's completely out of line right there. We're not playing a defensive formation. Um, Nick says yes, yes. Big up Nick. Hope you're well. He's gone for Liverpool 2, Palace 0. That's my prediction as well. So yeah, big up yourself. Same prediction there. My prediction for this season. Um, Liverpool first, City second, third, Chelsea, fourth, Arsenal, Villa fifth. Not a bad shout, to be fair. I'll see if because I normally do my predictions at the end of the window. I feel like that's when I get a better idea of, what the current scores are going to be. So I might give a pre-season prediction, but I feel like for me, the one that will give it more detail will be at the end of the window. That's when you'll see me analyze each squad properly and then give you my predictions based on what I've seen in the squads and what I've seen, in the last, or should I say, the opening few games of the season. So yeah, in terms of your prediction, it's not a bad shout to be fair. Other question: some Palace fans not observing Dorsey. Yeah, there's always going to be a minority, I think. So we'll just look at the majority, and majority of the fans have been quite respectful in regards to Diogo Jota. So yeah, we'll just look at the positives more than anything else. AR says hi everyone, assalamu alaikum. Walaikum assalam to you, AR. Hope you're well. It says congrats to Grav, wife and baby. How are you? And also how's your family? We're all good, thank you. I hope you're doing well and your whole family is well as well. It says blessing, greetings, smash the like and subscribe. Big up yourself, AR. Thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning in as always. And Nick saying walaikum assalam to you as well. So the game has begun. Interestingly, Kirkis has picked number 6 in tribute to John Arnorisa. I was going to say Arne Slot there, which is nice because I feel like whenever Risa wore that number 6 shirt, to be fair, when he wore the number 18 shirt when he's first joined Liverpool, that's when he scored some real crackers. Honestly, I remember his opening season, he was amazing, and I could see why people would. He was touted as the Norwegian Roberto Carlos. Obviously not quite to that level, but I saw why because of the lethal left foot, his shooting ability, and in terms of what he brought to the table. He was probably one of my favorite fullbacks in Liverpool colours right now. So yes, good to see Kirkes, knowing his history there. I think his brothers, who are a little bit older, may have helped him out in that decision, but nonetheless, it's a nice touch there for him to have that number 6 shirt, and hopefully, he lives up to the bill and replicates or does even better than what Anarisa did for us as well. AR's prediction is 2-1, which is a fair prediction as well. Then Kabak says, "What a left foot John Arnold used to have. Was he? That man had honestly, and it wasn't even just like free kicks. So, you get some players that they're lethal when it comes to set pieces. When open play, I remember him scoring one goal. I can't remember who it was against. I want to say it was Tottenham, but I might be wrong. Where he literally went down the flank and he smashed it from distance. The United goals as well come to mind as well, where he scored some lethal goals against them. So, nah, he was a special player. He was one of my favorite left backs. In terms of my life, so I've been a fan for about 30 years. So for me, in terms of what I can remember, he was definitely one of my favorite left backs. So yeah, really, really good player. And we only got him we didn't even get him for, I feel like it was like 5 million. So bargain. Even in those time, it wasn't. It was still a decent price to be fair, but looking at back at it now, it seems like peanuts, doesn't it? So yeah, great player. And Ozek come back, continuing with his comment saying, and he could play left mid as well if needed, not just left back yet. There we go. Liverpool have just opened the scoreline, and Ekitike has scored his first goal. That was my prediction yesterday. I did say Ekitike will score his first goal for Liverpool, and that's exactly what's happened. So great start from the Reds, and Ozzy coming out saying, "Yes, Hugo, what a start! What a finish from our new striker, our new number 22 in Hugo Ekitike. Great start from Liverpool. Let's have a look at the replay. So look, Gakpo doing really well, cutting from the inside into a central position, finds Verts, and this is it. This is what I said yesterday as well. Verts is going to be the one that helps open up these low blocks. Look at control, look at shot. Fantastic. I did predict it. I'm not trying to sound like I'm Mystic Oz. I did say Verts to provide the assist for Ekatike's first goal. And that's exactly what's happened there. So great start. And look, great finish. Clean strike, no deflection whatsoever. Right in the bottom corner. Now you see why we spent all that money on it. That's why we spent £69 million on Hugo Ekatike. We haven't signed him as a big part player. He's definitely going to be a player that's important to our squad, and he's definitely going to get those kind of goals. So what a start from Liverpool. Great moment for Ekitike for scoring his first goal in a Liverpool shirt. Yeah, exciting times ahead. Was that because Agent Gay kept him on side as well? Miles done us a favour there. Who knows? Only time will tell if that is the case. Let me present the scoreline for you guys on the screen, and then Gakpo on the left hand side. Checkers with the cross, not bad cross. Sailed away by Mark Gay. Lacroix with the ball right now. Mark Gay on the ball. I think we will get Mark Gay this window. I'm very confident that we do. Another player that I'm very excited to seeing from our opponents is Adam Wharton. That's a player I believe that we'll target next summer. I think he'll be our new sort of centre midfield addition in the summer of 2026. So yeah, right now I don't think we'll be, in the position to sign him, but I do see us, targeting him next summer. I had some reservations about the away shirt because when I first saw, the images that were presented on social media, it seemed quite like a bright white sort of color, but it seems to have a bit of a cream element to it. So for me, it gave me slight United vibes, maybe because of the black shorts, but I actually kind of like it now. Yeah, I actually really like it. So I'm gonna have to see it in person to decide if I'm going to make that purchase. But the home kit, I've not had time, but I'm definitely gonna go over and purchase it. I have to purchase it for my kids as well. So it's gonna be an expensive evening, but nonetheless, it has to be done. The red kit just feels like it's a kit made for champions. It really does. And the away kit looks nice. But I like the other kit as well, the green one that's going to come out next month. So yeah, a lot of money going out the drain, I guess, in terms of buying these shirts. But it's been a while since we've had shirts that I've pretty much liked all of the designs, and I feel like Liverpool and Adidas is just a match made in heaven. Whenever those two entities have collided or collaborated, it's always been magic when it comes to shirts and special moments in terms of the football field as well. So financially, we're breaking records. The Florian Wirtz shirt that got launched on the day in terms of his number and name at the back. I think we made about 4 or 5 million in the first hour. So Yes, the sales have been high. They've been breaking records. I think it's the most we've made in the last few years combined. So shows you the volume in terms of what Liverpool are about and what kind of excitement there is around the team and the club. So yeah, positive times for us. And look, good times as well. So we should definitely enjoy these moments because they don't come around a lot. So let's be honest. Palace on the move right now. Good defending there from Frimpong. I feel like people are definitely going to be surprised by the defending. The difference between Frimpong and Trent is that Trent had no recovery speed. Like he didn't show that urgency to chase back. Frimpong will do that. So you're going to see an improvement in those kind of defensive positions. Of course, in one-on-one, he's probably, not the best, but because of his recovery speed, he's able to catch up and get back at the defender and also the winger, sorry. And also when it comes to fullbacks, the attacker always has the advantage, in terms of dribbling. So as long as that defender is around the player and pressing on them and putting pressure on them, then it's a different ballgame altogether. Liverpool on the counter, got pulled outside of the boot, but unfortunately hit the back of Lacroix there. Eze's on the ball right now. Eze tripped up there by Konate. Free kick to Palace. Shouldn't be nothing but a free kick. No yellow card, anything like that. Ozzie Clark saying Palace and fuming at Gay Online. Is that really? Wow. Hopefully that'll put the valuation down a little bit and we'll just take him off their hands, isn't it? But yeah, I don't think he meant that on purpose. Like I know fans will look into it a bit too deep, like, oh, maybe he kept him on, all that. Nah, it is what it is, isn't it? So um still want him. I'm not gonna be put off by him if he's made a few errors here and there. It's still for me a quality centre back. But Palace fans, yeah, I think because it's him, they feel a bit on edge, and especially if they don't know what his position is at the club. He'll probably be made into a scapegoat, unfortunately, especially if he's anywhere around a goal or any errors that have happened. So yeah, fortunately, part and parcel of the game. Crystal Palace's shirt printing has a very retro look, which looks kind of cool, to be fair. As a with a shot, deflected, I think that was, and it will be a Palace corner kick. Let's have a look. Shot from distance from Eze. Here's the back of Sabazai there. Eze with the corner kick, headed away by Katike. Water in the first time. Shot clear away by Gakpo. Oof, what's happened there? Offside there. Free kick to Liverpool. I was come out in the comments saying Hugo helping out with the defensive headed clearance as well. Yeah, he's an all rounder. He really is. He's a player, due to his height, he's definitely going to be a commanding person in the box, even from defensive set pieces. But he's a team player. That's his natural game. He likes to help out. So yeah, for me, we've signed a quality player. Really, really happy that we've signed him. I still believe we'll get Isak. So, my hopes and dreams aren't, completely closed in regards to seeing, you know, Newcastle's number 14 in the Liverpool shirt. But, we'll have to borrow that time. But for now, we'll enjoy the game and we'll see what the Reds are able to produce, even though they're not wearing red today. But, we are the Reds, of course. Good, good control there from Frimpong. Verts through to Salah. Salah on the right hand side. Salah tries to find Verts. Gakpo! Oh, what a save from the keeper. I thought that was a shoe in to be inside the goal, honestly. He didn't cleanly, hit the ball there, but nonetheless, even with that bubble, I feel like it was going to hit the bottom corner. Look at that flick from Ekatike. Exquisite touch there from the French striker. Gakpo may have been offside there, to be fair. But tried his best to control that, but it was a bit of a difficult one because it was passed with a bit of fizz. But yeah, that move all came from ping pong there, where he stopped that through ball, controlled it perfectly, and just you know hit the through ball, and yeah, we were away, and then Verts provided that through ball. Oh, Mateta through on goal. Oh, great block there from Allison. He's actually the best when it comes to those kind of one-on-one situations. Van Dijk. Uh-oh, he fouls. I'm not sure who fouled, but it looks like the referee has waved or pointed at the penalty spot. Is there a penalty? I'm not entirely sure. It was Ismail Assar. Ismail Assar loves this guy here. Honestly, he'll be dead throughout the season, but when it comes up to Liverpool, he's just Mane. Honestly, he turns into Mane. That looks a bit soft. I'm not gonna lie. Let's have a look. No, it's a pen. It's a pen. He's got his foot there, so unfortunately, it's a pen. Unexpectedly there from Van Dijk. He's normally a bit more, you know, astute in those kind of positions there. He's a bit more calmer and doesn't normally dive in. So yeah, bit of a shame there. Let's see. VAR currently reviewing the incident right now. Also come back with a comment saying, Gakpo got to finish that. Yeah, I think he just scuffed it a little bit, to be fair. But yeah, as you mentioned, he was offside anyway. Looks like it could be a pen. We're just waiting for the referee to make that decision. It could be an off. Is Eze offside? I can't. Mateta was definitely on there. No, I think it's the right call. It is a penalty. So Mateta, who's ironically linked to Liverpool a few weeks ago, steps up. Can he score past Alisson Becker? Mateta steps up, and he's made it 1-1. Good finish there from the Palace striker. Slightly disappointed that we conceded that penalty, but I think it was the right call. Palace fans in jubilation right now, and rightly so. They have a right to celebrate. Do they deserve it? Not to sound harsh, I don't think so. I think Liverpool have been the more dominant team, and they haven't really troubled us before, being rewarded with this penalty kick. But that's how football goes. Sometimes you don't have to be dominant to get some sort of reward or getting a goal in your scoreline. So 1-1 it is right now. That goes my prediction, but nonetheless, still a good game so far. Enjoyable game. Van Dijk, long ball towards Ekitike, headed away by Mark Gay. So inverts, lovely touch to Bosley. To Salah. Salah finds first, lovely ball there. Kirkes with the shot. Blocked there by Richards. Unlucky from Ekitike. Palace on the attack now. From Manuz. Not the best of deliveries there. Comfortably saved by Allison. Penalty on the ball. Oh, Szoboszlai gives the ball away. Ismail Assar lays it off to Munoz. Good cross to Tyrone Mitchell, I think that was. But I'm not sure if that was a cross or a shot. And it's gone behind the goal for a goal kick. Also, the comment says Szoboszlai can't give it away cheap like that, Ozzy. No, he can't. And that's one of the areas I feel like he needs to improve on if he wants to make that position his own in the team in terms of being part of a double pivot, because everything else he's got it in his locker, but it's just that ball retention where when you've got opponents coming up to you or pressing on you, you've got to be aware of your surroundings. You've got to have better awareness where when you touch that first touch, you've already planned your next move. So you're away from that player. I feel like sometimes he holds on to the ball slightly too longer. And that way he either, gets tackled or he releases the ball, you know, erratically and it ends up, giving the ball away. So that's something that he needs to improve on, especially, back facing the goal. He's not always going to have the whole field ahead of him. He's going to have to do things. Hold on. Brentford has just scored from a cross shot more than anything else. That has certainly come out of nowhere. Liking the celebration as well. I gotta see a replay because it looked like a great cross, but I didn't realize maybe it got a deflection and it went inside the goal. I'm not too sure. But let's have a look at the replay. Let's have a look. That Frimpong. No way. There was no deflection there whatsoever. Okay, I'll be honest with you guys. It wasn't done deliberately, but look, nonetheless, what a finish. I'm not sure if he meant that. But look, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. If he says he meant it, I believe him. So yeah, what a finish from our new right back. Forget Trent. There's a new man in the house now, and that is Jeremy Frimpong. So great start for the new signing. 2-1 to Liverpool. Just gonna go through some of the comments here. Oh, that comment saying, yes, Jeremy, yes indeed. Debutants, yeah. Debutants, have shown their worth already in the opening game. Or not opening game in terms of Premier League, but still opening game in a competitive manner. Um, they both scored their first goals for the club, which is great for the new boys there. Other comment saying, who's next? Verts or Kirkes? Kirkes was in the central position earlier on, so I feel like he's gonna have a crack on goal, but I'm gonna go for Verts. Verts looks like he's the most likely to score, so hopefully he can get into the act and join the party with a debut goal as well. And then come out saying he meant that, Ozzy. You know what? If he says it, I'll believe him. But in terms of the technique, I just feel like he's trying to just whip it as far as he could to the far post. But yeah, there was no deflection, nothing to that manner. But the finish, yeah, unbelievable. Palace on attack now. You see that? This is what I'm saying about Frimpong. This is what you didn't see with Trent Alexander-Arnold. He would never track back in that manner. That's the difference there. He wanted that ball. Now, for all those people that think Frimpong can't defend, just have a look at this game because you clearly haven't watched him before, and you're just going off base of because he's an advanced right winger or right midfielder. You think he can't defend? He can defend. It's just that people haven't seen him in that kind of position. I've seen bits and bobs of his Celtic days and all that sort of stuff, so I knew he's got in his locker. Looking at aggression there. Don't be fooled by his height, thinking, oh, he ain't got no strength. He's got strength. He's got aggression in his play. That's what Trent lacked. As technical, amazing he was on the ball, Trent didn't have this in his game. He wasn't defensively sound. He wasn't aggressive on and off the ball. Frimpong brings that. And then, of course, he's great with his crossing as well. And of course, he's not going to produce best Beckham type crosses like Trent did, but who else can do that, right? So think about that in that way. So, I'm so pleased that we signed Frimpong. I feel like he was the best option for us in terms of financially, but in terms of, fitting into the way we play, to the style of play as well. He ticked a lot of boxes. So for me, very pleased that he's joined us. Um, Other question, bro, his recovery space is unreal. It is unreal. But it's because he's got that desire. You can be quick, naturally quick or athletic, but you don't have if you don't have the desire to chase the ball or run after the ball or make that crucial tackle, it's irrelevant. So for me, it's the mentality, it's the mind frame, and he's got that in his locker. So for me, we've got a great player there. And fans will probably forget number 66 in due course. I'm telling you. Other character, the second comment saying he can be 20 yards up front and trap back in 2 seconds. We saw that in the last friendly where he was literally on the other side of the pitch, and then against Bilbao, and all of a sudden Nico Williams had the ball, and Nico Williams thought he's going to have all the space to take a shot and goal. And behold, Frimpong's right there in front of him, and he's thinking, where on earth does this guy come from? Nico Williams was MIA in that game. Frimpong's probably still got him in his pocket right now. He didn't have any luck in that game whatsoever. So yeah, people are doubting Frimpong already. But look, I'm telling you, he's going to surprise a lot of people this season. Double D, big up Double D says Frimpong meant it. LOL, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm not gonna lie, I'll take it. If he says it, I'll believe it. But if I'm speaking from a neutral point of view, I feel like he was trying to hit that cross. But look, I'll take that. I'll shamelessly say he meant that as well. So yeah, it's all good. Uh-oh, Kanate. Not sure what's happened there. Oh, okay. It's got a bit of an eye issue. I think someone might have. Maybe he's missing a contact lens. Who knows? He just needs to wash his face. He should be fine. He's not injured. Looks like Palace are set to make a substitution. They're bringing on Will Hughes. I'm not sure who they're replacing him with, but looks like it's Kamada. Okay. Fortunately, the Japanese international has picked up an injury. But bad news there for Palace. Yeah, it looks like Kamada is unable to make a move. So yeah, it looks like Will Hughes will be replacing him. Ozan come back saying Liverpool fan Will Hughes is on. Yeah, I remember him I remember us being linked with him years ago. He used to play for Derby County, didn't he? So yeah, I think at one point it looked like he was actually about to join Liverpool. We were strongly linked with him at one point, but yeah, wasn't to be. So the Liverpool fan, I guess, will play against his boyhood club now. Ekitike. Ozzy come out saying, I remember him mocking United fans at Old Trafford. That was class. I think that's when he was like he started doing like I think it was 5 or 6 at the time. I can't remember how far it was. Yeah, it was 6, wasn't it? Yeah. So he put in the 6 fingers. I do remember that as well. Yeah, I like that. Even though he's not a direct Liverpool player, but he's still a boyhood red. So yeah, I do like it when players do that. So boss like lovely through ball to Gakpo. Gakpo took a bit too long to control that ball. Back to Szoboszlai. Flicks it, hits it towards Frimpong. Frimpong keeps in play to Verts. Verts unable to find Jones there. Jones has been a bit quiet for me today. I think he needs to be a little bit more involved. Kirkes. Half an hour played. Palace 1, Liverpool 2. Putting Verts in a slightly deeper role. Finds Kirkes. Tries to find Ekitike. I thought there's a bit too much on the board there. Yeah, it's a bit too much pace. A lot of work for Ekitike to do there. Going to Liverpool. As a long ball up top. Great knockdown there from Szoboszlai. Good interception. Liverpool have a throw in. Ping pong the ball. Salah unable to pass it back. Throw into the Reds. Oh, Ismail Assar. Good interception there from Gakpo. Gakpo to Verts. Verts, great pass to Ekitike. He's driving from the channel to Gakpo. Good control from Gakpo. Gakpo to Salah. Oh, slightly overplayed there for Salah. Jones to Salah. Salah to Jones again. Uh, Good tackle there from future Liverpool player in Mark Gay. Just got a couple comments here from Ozzy come back, who says, Ozzy, if you were a professional footballer as a Liverpool fan, would you refuse to sign for Man United or Everton or take contracts as they come? Honestly, and it's probably like, oh, easier said than done. I don't think I could move to Manchester United or Everton. Um, because I know Mike Malone has been in those similar situations where he was close to moving to Everton, I believe, and of course he ended up making that move to United. But I don't think it bodes well. 'Cause look at Mike Malone as an example. Uh, I'll give you I'll give you a fun fact. He was actually one of my favorite players growing up. He was my first sort of player that I was like, yeah, that's my guy. So when I became a Liverpool fan, he was the one that broke through into the team. So he was my favorite player. So yeah, it hurts to say that loud. But look, he was an unbelievable player in a Liverpool shirt. But of course, in terms of him making his decisions afterwards, going over to Madrid and Newcastle, and then Stoke, and then United, all that sort of stuff. Like he's definitely tarnished his legacy at Liverpool because of making that move over to United. And also, United don't really respect him in that manner either. Even though he won a league title there, they don't care about it. They don't really hold him in any honor whatsoever. They use him as a as a tool to mock us more than anything else. So no, for me, I would have too much pride to move over to United. We're like very passionate about our club, aren't we? So for me to obviously, I probably got more passionate as years have gone on. But even at that age, if I was at 18, 19, and United placed a bid for me, I don't think I'd accept it. Um, and I'm not saying I'm expected to play for Liverpool, but if I'm playing for another club, I would just hold that ambition that one day, Liverpool will come in for me. So for me, no, I wouldn't accept Everton or Manchester United if that contract came about. Even if I was like my career was towards the latter stages of my career, I'd rather play somewhere else, honestly. Um, because it does affect your not your appearance, but it does affect how fans regard you after football as well. So for me, no. Let me know. What would you do in that scenario? For me, it's a no. I wouldn't sign for United or Everton. And anyone else in the chat, if you were presented, let me present the question there. If you were a professional footballer and you were given the chance to sign for United or Everton, would you accept that contract or not? Feel free to drop a comment and let me know. Very interesting question. Then big up yourself, Oz, and come back. Yeah, but for me, no, I wouldn't do it. Some may, say no. Well, look, you got to think about your career, all that sort of stuff. I get it, but I mean, footballers are so fortunate where they're still earning a good amount of money. It doesn't even matter if you're playing, lower levels or semi-pro level. You're still earning a decent amount than the average person. So yeah, I wouldn't accept it. I don't even think I can even like function. Like for me to wear a United shirt would just feel illegal. Like that wouldn't even feel right. And then to play at Old Trafford, unless I am playing against Liverpool, that doesn't even make sense to me. So no, for me it's a no. I wouldn't do that. I'll come back, giving his answer. He says, for me, no, as well. No matter how big the contract, I wouldn't feel good inside wearing the United badge. That's it for me. Honestly, that's how exactly I would feel as well. It just doesn't connect. Like, if they offer you a big contract, great. But for me, easy to say it out loud, but I don't think money will be the defining factor for like my next move within my football career. For me, it would be where I have to feel happy with that decision as well. And I don't want it to be where I'm there and I'm like, yeah, like this is not the place for me to be. Like you should have made that decision before you end up saying yes to the move, isn't it? So for me, no, it's not an option. Although because unless your plan is to sabotage you, you could do to be fair. But the thing is, when you play for those teams and you don't perform, you get drops, isn't it? So I don't know if you're too much of an influence where you can sabotage the whole club. But if you can, then why not? But no, from a footballing point of view, I couldn't make that move. I would rather just move elsewhere and play for a team where it might not be playing to the highest level, but I'm still playing. regular football, and I'm enjoying my football at the same time and still making a good living. So for me, yeah, I couldn't do it. Oh, the comment says, rather move to the Greek league. At least the beach is there by facts. I'd, I'd rather go Greece. I'd rather go Turkey. I'd rather go to that part of the world and just like enjoy my football there, honestly. And in Turkey, you can pay well as well. If you're a good, like, high profile player and you get moved to like Galatasaray or Fenerbahce, you still get a good living there. So yeah, I'm all for it. Honestly, I wouldn't do it. I'd rather move abroad. Well, look, Saudi's about now, so maybe that move will come for me. They might want to see another Muslim person just come through and cause havoc in the league. So yeah, I'd rather go to Saudi in that situation. I'll still earn my big bucks there, wouldn't I? So yeah, I'm ready to leave Europe behind and move over to the Middle East. Honestly, that would be my thing if that was me in this current scenario. Uh, like I said, bro, Gala and Fenerbahce pay 650 euro per week. I know. It's no joke over there. That's why people like Osimhen and Leroy Sané moving over there. They're getting big money over there. So it's not like it's a retirement home for them. They're still getting paid very well. They're playing in the Champions League. The lifestyle, Turkey is a great place to live as well. So for me, they're enjoying the life obviously over there. So yeah, ticks all the boxes. And so if you're top tier, so like your Osimhen and your Leroy Sané, they're definitely getting top tier wages right now. Kirk is unable to keep the ball in play there. Goal kick to Palace, still 2-1. We've got a few minutes left before half time. Oh, that's almost causing a bit of a mishap there, but Konate sweeps up the mess and hits the ball long up top towards Ekatiga. Can he get onto it? Hennessy makes that clearance. So Wozlai has the ball down to Verts. Verts finds Frimpong on that right hand side. I think something that doesn't get spoken about as well. To sign Verts and Frimpong together is actually a masterstroke because they're best mates, as you can probably see on social media. And normally, fans always feel like, oh, you can't buy two players from the same club. It's always been like this kind of taboo where you can't do that. Like it is a possibility that it's two separate deals. So I don't know why us fans have always had that in our notion that, oh, if we target one player, we can't get both of the players. But I think it's a masterstroke because you've got two players that come into the club where Verts may not have known the other players in the squad, but of course Frimpong would have because of his allegiance with Netherlands. So there's a lot of Dutch players and our coach is Dutch as well. But for Verts to join and have his best mate alongside him, masterstroke. So yeah, that's why I got high hopes of Leone coming in because we've got Uncle Federico at the club as well. So hopefully that'll help him settle and even like different combinations like Sabozlai and Kerkez being Hungarian and with Ekitike being French alongside Kanate and maybe that'll help Kanate stay as well. Who knows? But we've got a lot of good dynamics there and like we're building good partnerships amongst the squad. So yeah, we've got a great squad on our hands, and I feel like just need to add Isak on the cherry on top and Mark Gay hopefully as well, and then yeah, we'll be cooking next season. So yeah, very pleased in terms of what Liverpool are doing currently with the squad. Ozan Kabak says, I'm not comfortable with how Szoboszlai keeps losing the ball cheaply and causes us to be vulnerable to a counter. That's something he definitely needs to work on. He needs to improve on sort of retaining the ball, but also fending off pressure from the opposition because they're going to be on his case. When they're seeing matches like this, they know that he's inclined to losing the ball and maybe producing, errors with his passing. So he needs to improve in that area. And I feel like that can be done in training. That's not a you're not born with that kind of ability. That comes through experience, that comes through coaching and training. So, once he can refine that in his game, he's going to be a great option for us, even in a double pivot. But of course, it still improves his game further up the pitch as well, because he'll be a bit more aware of his surroundings, and he'll be able to help out with the midfield. If he's playing in an advanced midfield role as a number 10. So for me, Verts, still has a lot. I mean, sorry, Verts. Sabozza still has a lot to offer in this team. Look at this great play from Ekitike, using his strength there. Chris Richards finding it trouble to keep him on bay, and had to make a clearance there for a throw in. Van Dijk switches it towards Salah. Gay with the unorthodox clearance there, but whatever works for him works. Van Dijk with the header to Konate. Konate to Jones. Seven added minutes. Really? Where did 7 minutes come from? I know Konate was down with a bit of a issue with his eyes, but I don't know where the 7 minutes came from. Bit weird, but okay. Not sure what game the ref is watching, because I don't remember there being that many stoppages around the time. Allison the clearance. Oh, Ekitike putting on pressure on the defender. Dragged him down from behind, but it's all good. I like that pressure from Ekitike. Okay, long walk top. What a ball from Mark Gay to Munoz. Oh, Ismail Assar unable to connect with that cross. Good body check there from Konate to distract him from making any connection onto that ball. Definitely not a penalty shot. That's not, you don't get a penalty for those kind of moments. It's a contact sport. You're gonna have to make some sort of contact with the opponent. I was gonna come out of the comment, says impressed, really impressed by Ekiteke. Yeah, Ekiteke's got the ball, the technique, hasn't he? He's showing his quality, and yeah, really, really pleased with his performance so far. And long may it continue, honestly. Other Kabak says he does the little things really well and seems to have a smart football IQ. 100% agree. That's what really impressed me whenever I saw him play for Frankfurt, where I love the fact that he could drop deep and lick up the play really well, but also attack the channels that either complete forward in that way. I just feel like the only thing he needs to improve on, and maybe it's a bit harsh, but I just feel like his finishing, I want it to be a bit more consistent. There were a lot of games where he had a lot of chances before he was able to convert, but that comes with time and experience. He's going to be playing with an unbelievable squad in Liverpool, and he's going to get the service. In some teams, when you play like a Frankfurt and those kind of teams, you may not be blessed with a lot of chances during games because of the opposition, especially if you're playing against your Bayern and your Dortmunds and the bigger teams like that. Uh, but at Liverpool, he's always going to get chances. So for me, he's a great addition to our squad. He really is. Ping pong on the ball on that right hand side to Ekitike. Ekitike flicks it to Jones. Szoboszlai to Wirtz. Wirtz, oh, tries a cross towards Szoboszlai, headed away by Mark Gay. Ping pong. He shoots. I balloons it over the bar. But he had the right shoot there because the ball bounced at a good height for him. And those ones you've got to take that half volley on for me. Just hit over the ball. You needed to slice it a little bit and try and, you know, swipe the ball towards the ground more than, up in the air like that. But yeah, good position there. And I'm glad that, it probably sounds rude, I'm glad he didn't stop and pass it to Salah, because that seems to be the plan last year. In that moment when the ball pops up in the air like that, you're supposed to take a shot and go for me. So unlucky with the finish, but good to see the right back, getting in those kind of positions, helping out with the attack. Oh, Alisson almost drops the ball there, but Gakpo has the ball. Liverpool on the counter. Gakpo. Ping pong to Salah. Salah on the ball. Kirk driving the ball to Gakpo. Gakpo to Wirtz. Lovely flick to Ekitike. The ball didn't get through there, but I love the fact that, Wirtz is trying to make things happen. They got the first ball through to Ekitike very well. Then, of course, he got crowded there. But he's going to be the difference maker for us in these kind of games. The eye of the needle type passes, he has that in abundance. So, yeah, really looking forward to seeing how Wirtz does for us in the course of next season. Kirkes tries to make the clearance, but couldn't get anything on the ball. Konate has the ball away. Well, as far as Eze. Or Higgs to Munoz. Munoz with the cross. Overplayed there. And that is the halftime whistle. Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 2. Liverpool have been a very, very dominant team today. Goals coming from our debutants in terms of Hugo Ekitike and Frimpong. Whether Frimpong meant it or not, who cares? It was a lovely finish in the end. And Palace were able to grab one back with a penalty that Mateta finished in the end. So what we'll do now, we'll take a short break. And once we return, we can continue watching the second half of this game. And yeah, feel free to get involved in the chat with your football questions or anything that you want to chat about. So yeah, I'll see you guys very, very shortly. Just gonna grab myself a drink. And you can do the same as well. See you guys in a bit. Hello everyone, welcome back to the second half of Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. The game is now underway. No changes to Crystal Palace or Liverpool, so the same teams resume into the second half. Good tackle there from Verts on Eze. Szoboszlai does well there to release the ball to Kerkez. Kerkez to Gakpo. Liverpool on attack on the opening minute of the second half. Gakpo cuts in, he shoots. Blocked by Richards. Kerkez with the cross, not bad. Cross to Ekitike. Unable to guide it into the bottom corner there. Should have done better in my opinion. I think he just headed it with the wrong side of his head. Needed to do it on that side. He ended up doing it there and ended up going the other way. So yeah, didn't make the right contact there. Maybe it's slightly maybe offside there. But I think the defenders did enough to, you know, distract him or not give him a clear angle to execute a header towards goal. So your goal kick to Palace. Other Kavaks reacting to that moment. They're very close. Good start from Liverpool in the second half. Salah, the first touch. The sun is shining today in London, so that's why you've got Dean Henderson pulling out his cap to make sure he doesn't get any distraction from the sun, of course. Kerkez to Verts. Verts to Salah on the right hand side. Can he pass it to Frimpong? Yes, he can. Frimpong back to Salah. Both players producing a great partnership already in the early encounters. Verts to Salah. Salah keeps the ball in play. Ozwrld come out with the comments saying, I see the vision every time Pimpon bombs forwards with Mo, Kirk covers it right back. Yeah, that's definitely how it's happening right now. And I think when you have your first team squad, Gravenberg will be the guy that covers Frimpong in that area of the pitch. Because on the other side, let's say it's McAllister also balls like in a double pivot, they'll be playing a bit more wider because Kirk is likes to come a bit more infield. But so yeah, in terms of whoever plays in the double pivot, their role will be to cover the fullbacks whenever they bomb forward. So yeah, the beauty about our players in midfield and our wing backs, or should I say fullbacks more so than not, is that they can play in different styles. Kirkers can, underlap at times. Frimpong will probably overlap more so than not, but he can also do that as well. So they will always present a different variation. I feel like that's the beauty of this, where we've got different dynamics. We're not very predictable. Our players are multifunctional, and that's what's going to separate us from everyone else, in my opinion. So yeah, positive signs going forward for us. Well, the Kabak says the ref deserves a yellow for that tackle on Munez. He does, doesn't he? Dirty tackle that was. Straight booking there. Long walk up towards Mateta, but Allison read that play and claimed the ball easily. Frimpong to Jones. Free kick to Liverpool. Bill Hughes obstructing. Verts to continue there. It was a nice pass to Gakpo. Gakpo, nice ball to Ekitike. Verts with the cross. Cleared away by Mark Gay. Oh, lovely pass there between Ekitike, Verts, and Gakpo. Verts on that left hand side. Low cross to Ekitike. Should have hit the target there. Lovely cross from Verts with his left foot. And perfectly picked out Ekitike. Ekitike maybe should have gone with his right foot, but I think because of the angle, yeah, I see why he went for his left foot there. Very close. Good movement there from the two attackers. And also shows that Verts can occupy that wide position if needed. So, as I mentioned, a lot of our new signings are very multifunctional, very dynamic. So that's going to give us an edge with our competitors next season, in my opinion. Ozan come out with the comments saying, not gonna lie, I want to see Rio on for Cody within the next 10-15 minutes. I think he'll end up coming on to play for about 15-20 minutes rather than coming on for the next 10-15. So I think he'll get some game time hopefully today. It'll be good to see him on the pitch. So I can see him coming on around that 70-75 minute mark. That's the prediction I'm going with for Rio to make his cameo for Liverpool. Lovely touch from Konate. Konate to Salah. Good touch from Wharton. But the pass, not the best of passes there. Great play there from Gakpo. Gakpo to Jones. To Frimpong. Lovely touch from Ekitike. Can you shoot? To Salah. I think he should have gone for goal there, personally. Salah didn't get his body in the right position there. You know, with that sort of pass, you're expecting a right foot effort, but he had to try and square it with his left, unable to find the Liverpool shot. But great touch there from Gakpo, laying it off to Ekitike. Ekitike was a great first control. Drives with the ball, and I thought he was about to take a shot on goal, but ends up passing it to Salah. Salah, I mean, sorry, so was I losing the ball there? And if we're on goal, no, no foul there. I mean, he just got in between two Liverpool players and fell to ground. Suppose I needs to do better there. Can't lose the ball and he can't give away passes like that either. That's something he needs to, work on his game. Needs to be more efficient on and off the ball. Yeah, he falls to ground, there's a wasn't fouled there at all. The pressure of having two players, making that challenge, I think that's what, made him lose his balance. Go inverts. Nice pass to Salah. Salah, lovely pass from Salah to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai to Gakpo. Can he shoot? No. Got a bit crowded there for him. Just gonna go through some of the comments here. Oh, the comment says this Wharton guy is so hyped by the Palace fan. He's been anonymous. He's been quiet today. I do rate him. I think he's a very talented player, but there's always been rumors about his sort of move away from the club, and some people quote him as £100 million midfielder. He's not worth £100 million. Definitely not. I do feel like he'll be a little target for us next summer, but at that price, no, I don't think he'll be at that price. But yeah, maybe, but it comes with the English tax. I think I always feel like English players are slightly overhyped by with their own fan base. Like for example, I felt the same for Declan Rice for years. But obviously, you've seen him in Austria. He's definitely improved. When he was at West Ham, the way he would get hyped being £100 million player, I still don't think he's worth £100 million. But it's just a day and age in terms of these transfer fees, isn't it? But no, I get your point on Water. I think he's very talented though. Um, Worth 100 million, not for me, but very talented player nonetheless. Good cross there. Can Mitchell keep it in play? Yes, he can. Oh, Mateta with a flick to Ismail Assar. I thought I was going to hit the back of the net. Somehow it went wide. Commentator saying Allison got a touch on it. I'm not quite so sure. Let's have a look at the replay. Some may have been offside there. Nah, Allison didn't get a touch on that. He just didn't get a touch on the end. Nah, he didn't get a touch on. He got a touch on it, but he didn't, guide it on goal. Should have done better, to be honest with you. That's a poor miss. Mark Gay playing as a playmaker, there, isn't it? So why are we going to get him on board? Showing his quality there. Sorry, other comments coming was how many times was like going to lose the ball? Yeah, it's something he's done quite a bit today. Needs to work on that in training. Try and be a bit more efficient on the ball. Need Maka on for Sabota as soon as possible. Depending on how fit Maka is, I don't want to rush Maka, to be fair. I would rather play Endo if we want to, solidify that midfield and just rest Maka for another week. I want Maka to start against Bournemouth next Friday. So maybe I'm just being a bit cautious there, but at least I think we're in control of the game. So there's no necessity to put on McAllister. Rather go for Endo ahead of him. But that's just my opinion. So let's see what happens. Good header there from Van Dijk. The shot. Deflection there. Corner kick for Crystal Palace. Oh, Richards with the header straight at Allison. Which is probably done better there. Maybe headed it, across the goal instead. Hmm. Excuse me. Oh, we've lost the ball by Sabozla again. As a good save by Allison. Again, Sabozla making errors there. Might be time to take him off at some in the next 5 or 10 minutes. This is what I'm saying with his, ball retention. He can't lose a ball like that. I know he's been pressed by 4 players there, but he's got to do better. He's got to be a bit more efficient on the ball. On the comeback, I know with the balls like there. Yeah, I agree. A little bit frustrating from his point of view today. Unfortunately, it's going to be very fine margins in terms of team selections this season because of the competition we have. You got McAllister, Gravenberg, so was that all fighting for, the 2 positions in the team. You've got to definitely try and be near perfect, unfortunately now. So Crystal Palace fans definitely very vocal today, making it into a very electric atmosphere right now. Ozzie on the ball for Palace. Ozzie the cross. Good catch there from Allison. Verts gliding with the ball. Look at that. Verts thought he was going to get fouled there. Ref ignores it. Wharton, not sure what he was trying to do there with the first time pass. Hits it straight to Allison. I like the goalkeeper's kit as well. Black and grey, different combination than previously. Looks like McAllister is coming on, so Ozan Kabak is getting his wish. And it'll most likely be for Sabozda, who's not been very efficient in terms of his passing today, giving the ball away quite a few times, unfortunately. The second player, I think Wataru Endo might be coming on as well. Frimpong, nice touch there to Jones. Jones does well to hold off the ball. That's the kind of skills that Sabozda needs to add to his game, holding off the ball from challenges like that. Once he can add that to his locker, we've got a complete midfielder there, in my opinion. Got a comment here from excellent underscore kind. He says, I have been watching your stream for a while now. Just say hi and drop a follow. Big up yourself. Um, excellent kind. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for tuning in. Eze on the ball. Richards to Lacroix. Eze to Mitchell. Nice back heel there from Eze to Margay. Oh, Gay does well there to pass the ball back to the keeper. Salah was definitely putting pressure on him. Ozan came back with the comment there, saying, I also just wanted to say good job on the streams. I don't even know you on Twitch. Be yourself, Ozan Kabak. Interesting emoji selections there. Um, Also, Ozzy, I'm not sure if I've made this sort of announcement before, but I've uploaded some customized emojis because you're a member. So there should be a few emojis for you to add to the chat. So yeah, feel free to do so. And then as time goes on, I'll try and definitely add some more emojis, like see your interesting one there as well. Uh, excellent. Kind of say, what are the goals you want to achieve on streaming? So for me, it's more so from a YouTube point of view, in terms of Twitch, I'd like to get my following up there as well. But from a YouTube point of view, which is pretty much my bread and butter, try and get 1,000 subscribers. Uh, target is by end of the new coming season. So that's my target. So hopefully this time next year I have more than 1,000 subscribers. That's my aim. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, I can achieve that target. And yeah, with your support, if you even if you're liking and sharing the videos, it goes a long way. So yeah, I do appreciate everyone's support. I think you tried to add the emojis that I can't see on screen for some reason, but yeah, appreciate you uploading that. It's amazing, guys. Big up yourself, guys. Let me see. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I'm just checking it now. On my, I couldn't see the comments, but yeah, I can see the emojis. So yeah, we'll try and definitely add some more in the course of the season. So yeah. Endo is on the pitch now. I can see. Is Ekatike being substituted? Yes, he is. Give him a bit of a rest. So yeah, round of applause to Ekitike. Great performance from him. We have to be careful. He's the only striker in our squad right now. So got to manage his minutes until a certain person arrives through the door, and that is of course Alexander Isak. So Curtis and Hugo to get off for McAllister and Endo, which makes sense. I'm sure you might be a bit annoyed about that because suppose that still is on the pitch right now. Ekatike looks knackered. He definitely worked hard today. So what's that? Shoots. Decent effort. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I can't see on StreamYard for some reason. Really weird. I'm gonna have to look into that because once people start using the emoji, I should be able to see it. But yeah, you're right. It's fine on YouTube. Um, Watara and Maka on with Kurt and Hugo off. Still wants to see out this game. Yeah, I think it's smart from Slot to bring in the likes of Endo and McAllister. Endo and McAllister will just bring that calmness into the middle of the park. Suppose like I guess we'll play a bit more further up with Verts playing on that left hand side. So yeah, still works to our advantage. There we go. Verts is on the ball right now. Or maybe suppose like playing a bit more further up. Oof. Ping pong. Oh, he's holding on to his shin right now. He's in a lot of pain. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Let's have a look. Oh, that's a dirty challenge from Wharton. Yeah. Luckily, from an injury point of view, it's not directly on the shin. I think it's the studs that's literally scratched the side of his calf. So hopefully there's no sort of impact in terms of his bone or muscle there. Um, Commentator saying bigger shin pads would make a difference. No, it wouldn't. It was literally high up on his calf. No one's wearing shin pads close to their knees now, are they? So commentator clearly hasn't played a game of football in his life, but he looks okay. He seems to be fine. Other than that's the red. You're right. It's a dirty tackle. I'm surprised it's not being reviewed. Maybe because it's a Community Shield fixture, they've not really, gone through to VAR to have a look. But during the course of the season, that could definitely, like, it should definitely be a yellow more than anything else. A red, definitely. I've seen those given for those kind of things because it was very high. Maybe because it was on the side of his leg, it wasn't, a full-on clash in that manner. But yeah, saw one for Frimpong, but he looks to be okay. He's continuing to play on. Excellent kind saying drop your Discord username. I don't have a Discord one, so yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have that. I'm not on that platform, but yeah, if you want to have a chat, you can reach me on Twitter or Instagram, and yeah, or if you just want to be part of the show, feel free to drop your comments in the live chat or in the comments if you're watching it on replay. Instagram is on. Well, let me take it off. It's at Ozzie.ftp. That's my Instagram. So you can see on the screen there. I've got my Instagram in terms of IG, and I've got my X username as well. So if you want to reach out, yeah, feel free to drop me a message. Henderson on the ball. You want me to type it in? Type it in for you then. Give me a second. So that is my Instagram at Ozzie.ftp. So yeah, feel free to follow me, and yeah, if you want to drop a message, feel free to do so as well. So that is my Instagram handle. Also, just reminds me actually, I do have a FPL code. So let me bring that on the screen. I'll probably have it on my current layout at some points for the course of the season. But if you're watching live, you will pretty much have free access or exclusive access, I guess, because I haven't really promoted it anywhere else. To my FPL um, league as well. So let me see if I can find that code, and I'll put it on the screen for you guys. Oh bloody hell! Did we just concede a goal? Oh my god! This guy, I find him so annoying. Honestly, he's dead throughout the whole season. But when he plays against Liverpool, he turns into prime Mane. Honestly, he really does. Okay, let me bring up that code that I just mentioned for you guys. The app is a little bit different to previous seasons. It's a bit hard to try and get that code, but let me see if I can bring it here. There we go. So I'll put that code on for you. And I'll say from the next sort of shows coming up, I'll have an auto join link on my description, so you can just click on the link, and then it should allow you to auto join. Especially if you're watching it on your phone, but even if you're watching on the desktop, it should open up a tab for you, and you guys can join the league straight away. So instant connection there, I guess. So let me write up the code, make sure it's correct. Okay, okay. So there you go. So this is the FPL code. So it's 5XG41K. So if you're doing FPL this coming season, feel free to join the league. Quite a few already that I've seen. Oh, what a poor mistake from McAllister there. Good block from Kirk, isn't it? Sars suggesting that it was handball. I don't think it was. Let's have a look. Is it handball? No. Where's the handball? What are you talking about? You scuffed the shot. That's what you did. Nah, there's no handball there. Behave. Other than Kabak says, not gonna lie, Van Dyke made two errors today. Yeah, he has. Those definitely two errors. I agree with you. Oh, okay. That could be a handball. But why is it that when Frimpong gets fouled, VR's gone to sleep, but all of a sudden they're awake now when it comes to Palace? Ridiculous. I think it's accidental. I don't think it was done deliberately. He was in an unnatural sort of position. Yeah, it's not a penalty. It's literally jumped and the ball's just dropped in his hand. He's not even seen the ball. So yeah, that's not going to be a penalty. Sosa with the cross there. Oh, Who's the aggressive tackle there? But yes, that is the FPL code. 5XG41K. Looks like Harvey Elliott is making an appearance for the Reds. Could this be his last cameo for Liverpool? Potentially. There's a lot of rumours suggesting that he's on the move to either Red Bull Leipzig or Tottenham. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it looks like he is on his way out of the club, unfortunately. Other questions, we got lucky, not gonna lie. Yeah, I've seen those given, so you're not wrong. But from my point of view, I think it's quite clear that it wasn't an obvious handball. But just because it's not an obvious handball doesn't mean those decisions are not given. So you're right. We probably got a bit lucky there, in my opinion. But I don't think it was a handball. And that's still not me just being biased. I don't think he saw the ball in that sort of magnitude, so that's why it wasn't given. And showing his aggression. But Palace, you have to give them credit. They're being very aggressive in their pressing. They're not giving any of the midfielder space. That's why, the likes of Szoboszlai have lost the ball. Minus Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones is passing oh, Salah with the shot. Hit with power. Straight at the keeper. Good move there from Liverpool. Kirkes, great cross. Oh, I think he's actually hit it onto his right foot. That's why it took the sting away from the ball. What time is it? 82 minutes played. Oh, Salah driving the ball. Mateta. Blew it over the bar there. Should have done a lot better there. Had plenty of time to control it and even put it onto his right boot. Looks like we could be heading towards extra time, which honestly, guys, not what I wanted because I wanted the players to wrap this game up in the full 90 minutes so we're not overworked into our open fixture next week. But hopefully Harvey Elliott can make the difference. Harvey Elliott is coming on to replace for Inverts. Ozan come back saying no extra time, Ozzy. So does it go straight to pens? If that's the case, then yeah, I don't mind that, to be fair. They go straight to pens. Okay, brilliant. That's even better. I don't mind that at all. I'm glad they've changed that because I know back in the day it used to be extra time and stuff, isn't it? So yeah, good. They've changed the rules. There's a bit of common sense there, I guess. So now Robertson has come on to replace Kirkes. And Lerma is replacing Adam Wharton. And assuming the goal kick. Oliver Glasgow showing some tricks and flicks on that touchline there. Elliott on the pitch now. Elliott to Salah. Salah to Frimpong. And good control there. Passes to Elliot. Elliot on the ball right now. Elliot to Endo. Elliot to Frimpong. Szoboszlai to McAllister. Endo, nice touch to Elliot. Salah. Oh, handball? No. Salah getting booked for his foul on Eze there. Oh, poor control from Elliot. But he does well to tackle Munoz there. Oh, dropped to ground there. Free kick to Liverpool. Van Dijk. Callister. Lovely pass to Frimpong. Frimpong the first touch. Still has the ball. To Elliot. Elliot to Endo. Endo to Konate. Free kick. For handball. Good header from Van Dijk. Frimpong. Oh, clearance there from McAllister. Okay, hobbling right now. Sosa tries to hook it towards Eze, but unable to get real direction there. You've got Elliot on the counter attack. Lovely pass to Salah. Salah up against Lacroix. Oh, Lacroix does really well to make that block. Corner kick to Liverpool. Is that cramp or is that an injury for Mark Gay? Elliot with the corner kick. Not bad delivery. Suppose shoots. Henderson claims the ball. Yeah, hits it on the ground, loses the power. Marquez struggling. Could it be his last appearance? I'm not too sure. If it's an injury, it would be a slight concern. I'm not gonna lie. Will we still sign him if he's injured? No, it gives me Aquilani vibes. If I'm being honest with you. Um, but let's see. Let's see what's happened to him. It could be just a case of cramp, I think. So I'm sure we'll get some clarity after the game, and we can discuss it later on tonight as well. Because the latest rumor surrounding Gay is that Liverpool and Palace are going to have talks next week. So hopefully it, it's not a major issue. Maybe it's just a lack of fitness, and that's why it's led to cramp. You know, so let's see what happens. Ozzy come out and says hope it's not hamstring. I hope not as well. It looks like cramp, just the way he was hobbling off, and I think before he was stretching his hamstrings there. So hopefully it's not a hamstring injury, and it's more so a case of cramp, which does happen at this stage of the season where people teams are just wrapping up their preseason preparations. So hopefully it's more fatigue rather than anything else. Just got a comment here from Zukain, who says, "Bro, I'm going to subscribe to you now. Appreciate you, Zukain. Thank you for coming on and sending your comment, and thank you for subscribing to the channel as well. Really appreciate your support." Good pull ball there from Robertson. Henderson does really well. Watara Endo, not messing around, is he? Putting his body on the line, making sure that ball stays away from danger. Bring Pong with the throw in. How long we got? Oh, it's only a matter of time before the whistle's blown, isn't it? Speaking of left, oh, could this be the last attack? No. Oh, Will Hughes has the ball for Palace. Hits it to Eze. Oh, it's the substitute that just came on. I'm not sure what his name is. He almost scored the winning goal there. What's the fella's name? Justin Devaney. So let's have a look. Unlucky from him, to be fair. I see what he's trying to get into that bottom corner. Allison would have got it covered, to be fair. But yeah, bit of a worrying time. I didn't want Palace to get a last minute winner there. That would definitely annoy me. I was gonna come back saying pens. I'm nervous about this Ozzy, even though I shouldn't be. I hear you, but in terms of penalties, it's always it's a gamble, isn't it? In terms of how we perform. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how what occurs because I'm looking at our current lineup. Who would be our penalty taker? So let's have a look through together. So in terms of our current lineup, of course, we've got some players that have come onto the pitch as well. So we've got Robertson, Van Dijk, Kanate, Frimpong, Szoboszlai, Endo, Salah, and who else was it? Elliot, Gakpo, as well as McAllister as well. So for me, I would say McAllister will be a penalty taker. I think Szoboszlai will be as well. Salah, Gakpo, Harvey Elliott, Robertson as well. So we've got some decent penalty takers, in the team. Van Dijk can smash them in top corners as well. So should be fine. But it really is, it's a gamble. It's one of those things where you just have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, what happens with the penalties. I'm glad it's not extra time. I was just under the assumption it would be extra time. So I'm glad it's not because, yeah, unnecessary running for the sake of it. And I know it's a community shield. I know, you get some sort of silver at the end of it, but it's not a prestige, um, trophy. Maybe ask an Arsenal fan, they'll tell you otherwise. But generally, it's not regarded as a prestige trophy. But, we still want to win it. We're still here for all the honors. So let's see what happens. But I think those are the players in my mind that will take penalties. So you've got McAllister, you've got Szoboszlai, you've got Elliot, Robertson, Gakpo, Salah, Van Dijk, and of course you've got Konate and Frimpong. But those are the seven that I feel like will be strong contenders, or will be the first names to take the penalty kicks. So we see two of the captains walking towards the center of the field to, you know, decide who goes first. Is that Speroni? Um, for Palace there, he's a former goalkeeper. I didn't know he was part of the coaching staff. It looks like Speroni. When we used to watch him, playing for Palace back in the day, of course, jet black hair. Now he's, pretty much grayed out. So yeah, look like him. So yeah, blast from the past here, I guess. Potentially is their goalkeeping coach, I think. But Henderson is a good goalkeeper as well. He does have strong capabilities from penalty kicks. So it's going to be interesting. It really is. Uh, Ozan come back with the comment says, "I'm making my mind up, Ozzy. I ain't gonna crash out if we lose this pen shootout." Yeah, I don't think we should, to be honest with you. Of course, if we win, then celebration mode, right? But if not, it's not the worst case scenario, For me, what I was impressed with Liverpool in terms of the fitness that they showed a good level today. But credit to Palace, they were really good as well. They were energetic, especially in that second half. They were pressing us continuously, so it wasn't like we were playing against a team that weren't fully up to speed. They were really fit, and that's a great test for us going into the opening game next season. So for me, it's a good encounter. It was played at a more competitive level, so it felt like a Premier League fixture to an extent. So no, good performance from both teams, and let's see, what happens next. So now the penalty is set to be underway, and the first person to take the penalty is Mohamed Salah. I was just about to say about I was gonna come and say, please, please, please don't try the Panenka again. Yeah, that was a poor miss the other day, wasn't it? So I really hope he doesn't. you know, go for the spectacular and actually goes for the clinical finish, which is in the top bins. So yeah, let's see what Mohamed Salah can produce. There we go. Mohamed Salah steps up. Oh my God. He's ballooned it over the bar. What's up with Mohamed Salah, honestly? Wow. That was poor technique, honestly. I'm not trying to be reactionary here. We might have to get a new penalty taker on board. That's 2-2 right now. Salah normally doesn't hit those kind of shots. Really surprised by that. Also, come out lost all hope since we've lost. No, no, just relax. Let's, plenty of penalties ahead. Look, Mateta still got a score. Let's see if he's able to convert. Of course, he converted earlier on. So is he going to hit in the same spot? Mind game's being played right now. He does, and hits it past the goalkeeper. So Palace ahead on penalties right now. 1-0 to Palace. Yeah, plenty of power in that effort there. Salah, I don't know what he's doing there. Maybe I should have told him to go for top bins and should have just actually gone for bottom corner instead. McAllister is ready to step up and take a penalty. Mac 10 steps up. Oh, he's missed. Great save by Henderson. Oh, yeah, that's not good, is it? Oh, the curse is bun this 50 pence cup. I hear you. I hear you. But let's see. Let's see how the game concludes. As a set to step up in a very central, position there. Normally get players on the side. Oh, he's moved over. It's doing the Pogba jog. But Allison makes the save. Come on, Ali. For some reason, I thought that the save wasn't enough and it was actually going to roll back into the goal. But thankfully, hit the post. Oh, they look at the replay. Are they going to retake that penalty? I think his heel's on the line, though. Yeah, his heel was on the line. So Gakpo steps up. Come on. Who's taking it for Palace? Great penalty there from Gakpo. Ismail Assar, the player that turns into prime Mane whenever he plays against us. Let's see if he's able to convert the penalty today. He looks nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see what happens. Ismail Assar steps up. Oh, that's a good penalty. Not gonna lie. I told you this guy turns into prime Mane. He's so annoying. He'll be dead throughout the whole of the season. Watch until he plays Liverpool. Great penalty there. Yeah, yeah, set to take his penalty against Henderson, who I'm sure he's, training with the under 21s at some stage of their careers. Elliot steps up, saves it. Is that it? A poor penalty there, honestly. No real power. Oh, that's pretty much straight at the keeper. That's a disappointing penalty. Sosa, can he score? Oh, he's missed. He's smashed it on top of the crossbar. Good technique though, but yeah, way too much power in the end. Wow. Liverpool need to score to put pressure on Palace. If Szoboszlai misses, then Palace have won. So let's see, what the Hungarian can do. He's normally very good at set pieces. So let's see what Szoboszlai can produce. What a great technique there from Szoboszlai. Never in doubt. That's what we call a penalty. Real power into the corner. Gives us a bit of hope right now. Oh, unstoppable, fella. Unstoppable. Now we've got the young player, Devaney, I think his name is. Oh, there's a lot of pressure from the young kid. Look at him. Feel for him. He looks nervous. But not here for sentiment. For me, I need to make sure he misses. So Liverpool can try and continue this penalty shootout and get the win eventually. Let's have a look. He looks very nervous. Can he score? Oh, what a penalty. Not gonna lie, that's a great penalty from the young kid there. And Palace have won the Community Shield. Not what we had expected, but that's how it goes sometimes. That was a fantastic penalty, honestly. Two of the best penalties literally just came from Szoboszlai and Devaney as well. Yeah, a little bit annoyed that we didn't win this one. Fortunately, we didn't get to see Rio or Trenioni come onto the pitch. But look, fair play to Palace, it was a very close game. And of course, penalties always pot luck, you win some, you lose some. And unfortunately for Liverpool, we didn't win it. Another better silverware there for Crystal Palace. So congrats to them. In terms of Liverpool, I'm not just being shady when I say this. The team that normally wins the Community Shield doesn't win the league. So for me, I'd rather, have high ambitions than win the league. So for me, the Community Shield doesn't have the most sort of importance to me. But of course, it's never nice to lose a football match. But here we are. It is what it is. But that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. In terms of upcoming show, I'm not sure if I'll be doing a match reaction later tonight. If I do, the best thing to do is hit that notification bell so you know what time the live stream will begin. And in terms of upcoming shows for next week, we'll be doing our daily transfer shows. Hopefully, we'll get some breaking news. Maybe Mark Gahey, switches sides and joins Liverpool in the end. Maybe we'll get some developments regarding Isak. Um, and maybe we'll be linked with another attacker. Who knows? But until next time, guys, take care, stay safe, and I hope to speak with you all very, very soon. Goodbye.